Live streaming is on.
Okay, we will commence now. Hope the screen is visible clearly. Let me hope so. Okay, we have yesterday started the process of learning how text files are processed in C. We will elaborate on it now. Okay, we have yesterday commenced with that is one sessional computation file. I have edited it and simplified the things. Okay, we'll open it. We need, hopefully everybody is seeing that screens and clearly the voice is clear, hopefully. Okay, now this we have explained. Suppose we have some files, say just to compute the sessional marks, t1.txt, t2.txt, a1.txt, test1.text is text is the test1 marks, test2 marks, assignment, one assignment, suppose it's marks. Now let us save that. Now let us see the contents of that file, t1.txt. It was a larger file, then I have edited to only, okay, 10 students, 0, this is my style, 0 is the roll number of the student, and in dummy student, this is the way to store the maximum marks, okay. Similarly, t2.text, that was 10 students, a1.text. Now we have opened file pointer. This is built-in and the stdio. So you needn't worry about it. To open a file, you have to give it a file identity here. So file pointer ft1. If open, file open, the name of the file in quotation, comma, it is for what purpose it is opened, R for read. So we have opened t1.txt, an existing file opened for reading. Similarly, ft2, second file, third fa1, a1.text. All these three files are here. We have shown them here. Now what we are doing is we are reading the file. Scanf, we are familiar with same thing. Instead of the scanf, for which we will give the input from the keyboard, here we will use fscanf, file scanf, and from which file? First ft1, %d, %f. You see, all the three files have an integer value and a floating point value. Integer, roll number, and the mark. Every file is similarly structured. Okay, if it is a different structure, if we should know it in advance and we could code it accordingly. Here we have %d, %f, rn, roll number. That is the first element in the first column is the roll number. Then followed by the marks. here from the test1 file, we will take it as T1 here. From T2, we will read immediately we will go to the next file. From there, we will read. The while loop we will explain shortly. Now, immediately we will switch to the second file, T2, and first it will read 0. Then immediately it will go to the T2 file, and the first row is read 0. This is the white space. First, the entries are separated by white space. First entry is 0, second entry is 20, third entry is 1, fourth entry is 11.5. White space, either a simple space or a tab or a new line. All are called white space. Now, T2, the variable which we have declared as int here, T1, T2, A1, they will store the values. Now from the third file, which we have opened as FA1, that is from A1.text meant to be the assignment marks, we have read the value to A1. So first for one student, one scan, first from this T1, then from this, then from the A1. Okay, everything is right. Okay, 0 and 0, if you 0, 0 are alike if you read them as integer. Okay, now we will calculate the total marks. Okay, mark total is equal to A1 plus T1 plus T2 the sum, and we will print that mark. So one student. Any point to be explained again? Just use your mic to prompt me, because I want to see the text regularly. So occasionally I will go and check the text. Okay, the chat box. Okay, now we will have computed the total marks of one student, and we will print immediately that percentage 2D for roll number, percentage 5.2G, that is floating point number representation to display the result much more better. You needn't worry for the timing about it. You may consider it as F equivalent to F, but it will give a better readability if you may read it, and or you may, instead of G, you could use F. Okay, for the time being, it's just a formatting very close to F. Percentage 5.2 G, percentage 5.3 entries, T1, T2, T3, percentage D, 2D for the roll number, two character spaces for to display the roll number, then the T1, T2, A1 marks, and then finally the total marks. Minus 5.3 means left aligned, minus means left aligned. Normally these you could see when numbers will be printed, displayed right aligned. Suppose just to show that it could be displayed left aligned, minus 5.3 G is used. Okay, now let us compile it and run. We will explain the while loop after that. Okay, ses.c. Okay, we will compile it. GCC. Hope everything is clear. Any trouble, please remind me. Okay, thank you. Welcome and good morning for those who came a little later. And now what we haven't missed anything much. We have just introducing the file processing. Nothing much we have explained so far. Okay, just the reading stuff. Okay, now we will compile it. GCC ses.c instead of a.out, we will send it to ses. Okay, session calculation. Okay, let us see. Errors. I will compute it. Either you may issue ./ss, or since my path setting shows to the current directory, I will simply issue ses. Okay, let us see what happens. Okay, displays. This is the result of one scan. 0, 20 is the marks against 20 from, okay, which one we have displayed first? T1. This is T1 marks, this is T2 marks, this is assignment marks. Total is 50. So repeating, I used to have the maximum values for a dummy candidate with roll number 0, and to know some details while calculating, and the actual student details are coming. See, okay. 10 is last, 10 is repeated twice, that you could easily get rid of. All that we will discuss later. Okay, assume that the 10 students details are displayed here. So first student, let us take the first student's data. Okay, first 15 T1, then T2 with 11.5, A1 8, 15, 11.5, rounded to 12 here. Okay, that if we change that to 3, we will see the details. Okay, 8 and 13, 34.5 the sum. 15 plus 11.5 plus 8. Okay, that is the calculation. So this is for one student, and why now we will explain the while loop. Okay, let us make this as 12.11.5. Okay, that is 5.3. Let us try. This is a better display of percentage F. Okay, 5.3. 5.3. Okay, or less. Something wrong somewhere. I don't know, some message is coming here. Let us see what happens. Let us try to compile it somehow. D4. I will cancel that. Okay. We'll see in error there. Okay, some unknown character is shown. Let us try. CC minus. Okay. Okay. Now let me edit it. This day 2D is 5.3. Control S. Okay, no problem. No problem. No problem. Okay. 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 Now you see, we have reformatted to show the decimal point correctly. Okay, 11.5, or it could have been percentage 5.2 F. No problem. That will come. So the other values are displayed here. Okay, if you want to display it as the rounded off, instead of the last one, let us change it to 0.2. We will get it as rounded value. Okay, anyway, our focus is not on that. Our focus is on learning file processing. Any audio issue or any trouble, please inform me. Okay. Now the while loop. Say we have learned the while loop. As far as this condition is true, the loop will get executed. So there are 11 lines in the file. So that is why we are looping it. If E of end of file, that is E of file, end E end of file. Normally E of means end of file. If E of means particular this file, we will name the E of simply bracket means the input, default input. Here we are not taking the input from the default source, we are taking from a particular file. Okay, even though there are 3 different files, actually the good practice is before trying to attempt to read from a particular file, we may check whether that file's end of file is reached or not. But since we know here all the 3 files are similarly structured, having the data of 10 students each, we have used the FE of check of one file only, and the other files will be similarly. So what happens is it will read it will check before entering the while loop. If the end of file is not, this is the statement is while not fe of ft1, while we are not at the end of the file identified as ft1, do this much. So one scan will be done and one student's details will be displayed, and then immediately it will come back and it will check whether the end of file is reached. No, it isn't. So it will once again read this, and this, then it will display it, and so on it goes on. Why the last entry is repeated? Because when we read from here, last line of that file, you see in the file we have displayed here, from ft1 means test1 file, what happens is when we read from here, the end of file is still not detected. While we are trying to read the next character only, the end of file is detected. So, but before that, it will go through. While checking here, the end of file is not detected. That is why it is scanning again. The last line is repeated once again. To avoid that, we may include, FE of check here. So that is not a major issue for the timing, but if you are so insistent, if you want to specifically know about, we will insert that if FEOF. I have tested it for this the immediate past. It should work hopefully. Okay. So break from the loop. Okay. So let us see what happens. Should not print the last line in. Okay. We'll compile. Still it is coming. Okay. Still it is coming. This is saved. Okay. Okay, I will answer the query later. Anyway, the reason is that is while checking the FE of here, the end of file is not detected. Okay, 1 minute. Control X, Control S. So, fortunately, I am able to solve it. Okay, now while scanning, the end of file is reached. Okay, now after once file scan, if we check it, the ft1 is true, fe of is true, so we will break out of the while loop. So we are able to avoid the repeating last line issue. That's not a major issue. Once you are familiar with that, it will happen. You may omit this and you may, or you may include it. Okay, that depends on the situation. Okay. Reminding once again, if any trouble, please remind me. Okay. Now, just to go through the file, I will share it and understand this. Nothing much more to explain on this. We have opened 3 files, declared some variables, floating point variables. Scanf is applied in one pass from each file, ft1 here, ft2 here, fa1 here, the 3 files opened. Calculate total marks of that student, and we have displayed it. Okay, we are assuming that roll numbers will be the same. Okay, just to for the purpose of skipping the position, we are reading the roll number from every file. Okay. Okay, this is for reading. Now we will learn how to write, how to create a file. We have read we have learned how to read existing file. Now we will learn how to create or how to write files. Okay, let me check whether I have already cat file to create. Okay, okay. Same file, we will modify t1 dot instead a1 dot okay f open this a new file again. Okay, we will explain. Okay, these much are these are in for a1 t1 t2 mt we have already explained. Okay, and we have similarly opened 3 files for reading, and in the same file we have okay we are creating a new file called sys.txt sessional marks. Okay, sys.txt we are creating here, this one. Okay, f open sys.txt comma w for writing, w for writing, and fs is simply named fs means for sessional to identify that. Now the rest is the same. There's reading this much computed. We are printing to the default display output device, and along with that we are printing it to the file also. This is the file writing process. This is the opening a file for writing. Here we have opened a file for writing. File name is sys.txt. The file identity within the program is what we have, how we have named it, fs. Okay, then we have done the process before, but after every student's mark is computed, we are printing the details to the text, similar to printf. Now we have used fprintf. When we use fprintf, the file name should be mentioned first, fs comma, the rest is the same. Okay, percentage 2d slash t minus 5.2g. Previously it was 5.3 here. Now we will print as 5.2. Okay, we will see. Okay, we will see the result. Okay, but what we have printed is 2d minus 5.2g roll number, and empty. Empty is the total marks we have calculated. Okay. Okay. Now this will be printed to the output file that is opened for writing. So first students marks, total marks is calculated, immediately it is displayed, it is printed to the file, comes back scanning again from the same files but from the next portion. So I forgot to mention that there is a file, a pointer is there, a pointer is there which is pointing.
Is on.
It is okay. Okay, more let us hear the music a little later. Okay. Please switch off the mic. Somebody, please. Okay, so mute the mic, please. Okay, everybody, please. Okay, now every file while it is opened for reading or writing, there is a software pointer move to the last location where the read and write happens. So when we read from a particular file, it will read the first position, then the pointer will point to the next location after the space, and we will read from there. And so that is why when we come back from the first file, we read from the next line, and so on it happens. So similarly for writing, we will display the details on one line, and after reading from the three input files, we'll calculate the total and we'll print it to the same output file, fs sessional file, and from the next line. Because of this slash n, after printing one student's details on one line, it will go to the next line as we are displaying here. Okay, we will compile it. What is the name of the file? File create.c. Okay. CEC file create .c minus o, we'll simply say fc. Okay, fc file create.c. Okay, now we'll execute this. We will remove, that is, we are creating ses.txt. Okay, we will first remove that file. So suppose it is there already created. Okay, no, even if it is there, it will be overwritten, no problem. Okay, just for the sake of it, we'll remove that file. Okay, now that file is not there. One more remove, that file doesn't exist. So rm ses.txt is no more there. Okay. Okay, okay. Now we will run the program fc. Okay. There is a problem. Okay, okay. There's not an issue. fc, so there is a program called fc. /fc will give. Okay, it is executing. LL minus TR. Okay. There's a problem. It is reading from some other file. Okay, that's why it is creating the file of all the students. Okay, we will save it. We will compile it once and we forgot to save that. Okay, that's why it is creating details. CEC file create. Okay, okay. It is creating, showing the details here. Now, hopefully, I will explain. Now, cat says.txt was the name of the file, how it is created. Okay, here it has created. Even though for the display, we have displayed all the details like roll number T1, T2, A1, run and the MTR only we have used. Okay, so that is why it is like this here. 0 tab slash t tab 50. .5 is 34 here. Next person 0 26 12 11.5 rounded off to 12. Okay, that you didn't worry now. Okay, if we make it as 5.3 for to get rid of that issue, we will be able to solve that problem. Not a major issue. Now cat systotal text. Okay. So you could see 050 134.5, the same value 026 extra. That is how you create a file. So we have learned how to open a file for reading, open a file for writing. So in here, these three files are opened for reading. This file is opened for closing, writing. Then normally when we are in a larger project extra, we have to close the file. But here immediately after the process, we are exiting out of the program. The program finishes immediately here. We have just omitted F close. A file that is opened should be closed. Otherwise, it will remain in the memory, a point in the memory, and some trouble will be there. It is better. Normally, we should close the file. Okay, that we will explain the next example. Okay. So now, since while exiting a program, while finishing a program, if any file is opened, it will be closed. So we have omitted here. So normally, otherwise we should close them. In the next example, we will see how F clause is used. So one more process is there, that is appending. If you look at the syllabus, before that you just go through this and understand. Meanwhile, any feedback is there regarding voice or visibility, please remind. If I have to increase the sound, please remind by the text. Okay, we'll resume. Okay. So can this uses text we have created. Let us add some heading to that file. Okay. By using another program. First, you will create a file with just headings. Then we will add this content to that file. So that is what is called append process. And that is using the C program, we can add contents to existing file. When we use W for writing, the existing file will be removed and the new file will be created from scratch. So total text suppose is initially having the marks of 100 students, and we are now creating the marks of 10 more students. If you use W, as in the program we have explained, it will erase everything of that of 100 students, and a new file will be created to replacing the existing file. So we will have access in that. Suppose we want to add append, we will have that option. So okay, so we will now first explain. Okay, cat heading dot C. Okay, this program is very simple, nothing much here. File fh, and just instead of declaring and opening in the same line, we have used fh is declared first. On the next line, fh is a file is opened and it is assigned to fh, the file pointer. Fh f open sys.txt for writing, as we have learned. Now fprintf fh College of Engineering Chengannur, fprintf sessional statement, fprintf fh rn marks by 50. Okay, since we will edit that, by 50 will remove for simplicity. Okay, micro heading dot c, heading dot c. Okay, printf roll number tab space marks. Okay, okay. F close fh. Okay, here, okay, we have used f close fh. This is what how we close a file. Normally, when we are at the end of the file, that is why we have omitted in the previous examples. But a good practice is to close the file once it is opened, especially when you are part of a real project. There will be so many files opened and processed, so you will forget what is the status of a file. So if you want to open for process it from the starting position extra, the file pointer may be somewhere else. So to avoid all those difficult situations, normally when you are done with the processing of a one file, close it. This is a statement, f close file id. Okay. So here we are learning f close also, nothing more. We have created a file. What we will do is, to this file we will add the, so this is the sessional sys.txt now. So we will execute this file. So this will be overwritten by this content, because sys.txt we have now opened for writing. Okay, let us compile it and run it. Okay. CEC -o head. Head is a Linux command, so we can't use head as it. So we will give /head to avoid that. CEC -o head heading dot c. Okay, heading dot c. Compiled will /head. Okay, so this file will be executed. Okay, created. Let us see what is the content of text. Okay. You see, this was the initial status of sys.txt. Okay, cat sys.txt. Everything is overwritten because of this program. Because of this program, everything is overwritten, and now we have what we have is College of Engineering Chengannur sectional statement, roll number, marks by 50. Okay, marks only. We will save it. We forgot to save it. Okay, we'll save it and we'll compile again. Okay, we will run again. We will display it again. Okay, marks 50 by 50 is gone. Okay, okay, okay. Now we have that. Now we will reopen. Hope this is very simple and clear. Now we will reopen the sessional marks file and append the contents below this. Okay, hope it is clear. Previously, when we have created a sys.txt file, there was no heading. Just to how to create a heading, we are explaining. We have created a file with now just the heading. To that we will append the contents now. Which was that file? File create.c. Okay. File create.c. Okay. If the problem is here, no, not a problem. Initially we have created the file sys.txt by opening it for writing. Now we will change it as a, okay. say for append to the existing file. Okay, saved. We are executing the command to compile the code. Okay, ./fc file is hopefully it's created. Now the difference. Previously, when cat text sys.text was issued, it was only having this content. Then we have overwritten using that heading program. Then the content was this much. Now, after executing the heading program, we have executed this with W replaced by A. That means we are appending to the end of the current file, the file which is opened. So sys.text is an existing file which we have opened for appending, and whatever we are writing here to this that file, the same file, okay, it will be appended to the end of that file. Okay, so we have learned basic file processing as of now. That is, create rather first we will summarize things. Open a file for reading. Here we have actually opened 3 files simultaneously for reading. 3 file pointers are there parallelly moving, and after one scanf, it will point to the next location separated by space and so on. We have learned how to open files for reading. Then we have learned how to process open files and write contents to the file by using the what type of operation we are permitting as W. So 3 R, A and W, read, append and W. Previously we have opened it, or in the heading.file we have created a file using W this much, and then we to that file we have used A, the append option, and we have added the details. Okay, so the major 3 file processing operations we have learned: reading, writing, appending. Appending is actually a modification of the writing process, and I hope you have understood to some extent, so you could do some experimentation on this. It will be more clear. So may give a question, that is, here we have 3 files: t1.txt, t2.txt, a1.txt. You could see every file have roll numbers and marks. Okay, and now so roll number and marks in say, let me look at t1.txt, cat t2.txt. So every file have a roll number and marks. So now you may create another file in which it will have the roll number and test1 marks, test2 marks, and assignment marks only within that. Okay, very simple. We have actually done more than that. So you may try to create that a file in which it will have a roll number first for every student, followed by test1 marks, followed by test2 marks, followed in per line roll number, test1 marks, test2 marks, assignment marks. Try to create a file. And the next option is create another file which will display 3 things. One, the first one is experiment. You may try other experiments. What I am suggesting is create a file which will have the roll number, test1, test2, assignment marks column wise. Next program, try to create a file in which you will have a test total, roll number, for tests, that is T1 plus T2, then assignment marks, Okay, and the total marks. Okay, create another file. And you may do some, there are every faculty will have, depending on the difficulty or the discussions, some means of improving the marks. So if you do it by software, you could, that is what normally I am doing. You could do it equally across all the students. Using a program, you may try to do that. That is, modify the marks slightly using multiplication or addition or some other mechanism, and you may create another file and such experiments. You may try now. Any doubts you may ask now or voice now. Normal discussion is over. Thank you everybody for listening. Okay. Any feedback or doubts you may voice or text, or any suggestion you could make.